Good morning, all. Welcome back to the Turn It Round the Corner podcast. Happy Friday. Hope you've all had a great week. Big weekend of football coming up. My beloved Leyton Orient are hosting the current English champions, Manchester City. Bit of a predicament for me. Obviously, as a family, we were supposed to move to Spain last summer. A little bit delayed, obviously, as a family. And gave up my season ticket. So I gave up my season ticket. So I've been going to games this season, through friends' tickets or buying tickets on the day, or doing the radio for Phoenix FM. But obviously, there's been a big scramble for tickets following the Derby game. The club put on another membership scheme. Didn't really understand it, if I'm honest. Didn't really get to grips with it early enough, and then on the last day with about 20 minutes to spare, I'm trying to add myself and Bert to this scheme, but it wouldn't take Bertie's current details. So, we missed out. And the game before, the last round, Derby, I had a game that day. Bertie had a game that day. It was cancelled in the morning. So we ended up, through our various WhatsApp groups that we're on, or WhatsApp groups, managed to get a couple of tickets off someone through Facebook, I think it was, in the end. That game got called off. So the guy honoured it for the Tuesday. We went to the game on the Tuesday, but it's actually gone season ticket holders, members, and then anyone with a Derby ticket. And there's been some fallout and uproar about that as well, because if you bought 10 tickets, for instance, in your Leyton Orient family, for instance, and you had their membership numbers, I think you could only get tickets for Man City for yourself. So it's caused a bit of uproar. Anyway, suffice to say, we haven't got tickets. There was lots of people offering me ones and ones here, there, and ones in a different sort of stand throughout the week. But I've taken the decision not to go because it's one of those games, I suppose, that I'd want to sit next to Bert and enjoy it. Hopefully, we don't get embarrassed. But also, I've said it a lot lately, like playing football with Vets football, we've got a big cup game. And I know, like, as I say, the last couple of years, this might be my last year of playing football. I'm 46 in the summer. Time's running out, isn't it? And you just take it, for what it is. And I'm enjoying massively playing football again. I think for friends and family that know me, I had some health issues a couple of years ago. It's just been over 2 years since I had a big operation, and my I think something I used to get me through that operation and my rehab was that to get back playing football again. Bit of a long story and a bit of a digression, but after I had a big operation, I was moved to a private room in Southend Hospital, and I could see the pitch. I got moved on a Saturday to a private room, and the boys, I could see goals where the boys were playing Vets, and it sort of gave me the motivation to, whatever happens, I want to get back and play football for at least one game, So, it's a bit of a sad one. I think Bert's pretty gutted, but I've kind of tried to offset it with, there'll be a lot of people there that are day trippers and glory hunters. Bit of a weird thing to say that around Leyton Orient, but I told him to say I'll send people where they was, Solihull away, when the club was on its rebuild. So not going. And just rounding up episode 20, lots of lovely feedback from episode 20. Steve Tongue, as I'm sure you've worked out yourself if you listen, lovely guy, unbelievable experience in the game of football. To cover that many World Cups and Olympics, and just have that in-depth knowledge of football from, writing those books is just invaluable, and I really appreciate him giving up his time and coming on the pod, and also educating me a little bit on walking football. Someone sent me a video yesterday on walking football about how they can't run. It did make me laugh, and I posted that on our Instagram account. So, thanks to Steve. I will mention that I went to an evening organised by my wife this week, Jeff Stelling, doing a talk at the Brentford Centre with Paul Merson and Bianca Westwood, is it? And he actually spoke about his early days in the media, and that being at LBC, which is where Steve was. He put up a picture, and Steve was in that picture. So, yeah, thanks to Steve. And then moving on to episode 21. So episode 21 is with Jon Benton, so ex-Southend, Solihull Moors and current Boreham Wood technician, free kick specialist, a very technical player. And yeah, local lad. Got to know him through my relationship with his dad. When I moved to Leon C, ended up playing vets with his dad. Dad's a great bloke. Don't know his background, but was obviously a good footballer in his day because very good player at vets. And yeah, we talked through his journey so far, how he started and joined Southend as a 9-year-old, saw it all the way through to a first team debut. Was obviously there during some difficult times during the embargo, and it was unfortunate during that embargo that the club couldn't re-sign him, and he found himself leaving. But what I'd say is, Jon's got an unbelievable attitude. I think he's a very level-headed lad. He's got a real appetite to play games. He's not scared to drop down the level to play games, to give himself a shop window and an opportunity to step back up. And he's done that throughout his career at Southend. He went on loan to locally to Great Wakering. He went on loan to Averley. Was kind of part of the Averley revolution, really. Joined Averley when they were in the Ryman North, and obviously they won the Ryman North and ended up going back there when they were in the Conference South. Had loan spells at Braintree. But yeah, someone that's just, if he's not in the manager's plans, or, he's finding first team opportunities difficult maybe, then he's that type of boy that wants to go out and play games. And I think that was probably the overarching advice that he gave throughout the podcast, that, you'll find your level, but just go out and get as many games as you can, whatever the level, and put yourself in the shop window, play consistently, give yourself some stats for people to look at. Another reason why I just think he's a great kid is, he's utilised his spare time with football. He's done a degree with the University of Salford, and now he's thinking he'll probably take this season with a little bit of rest, but he's then talking about maybe doing his master's degree as well. So, great kid, varied career, played at a lot of levels already. Not many kids before the age of 22 can say they played at Wembley twice. Unfortunately, he lost both those finals, and I think that will make him stronger throughout his career. But again, not many people can say they scored a penalty and scored a goal at Wembley, but in front of hundreds of their families and friends. So yeah, really great chat with Jon. As I say, really, really lovely lad, a really level-headed lad. So he's got wise shoulders for a young lad. And lastly, Jon and his family have gone through some tough times over the last year. And I want to dedicate this episode to Jon's brother Ed, that unfortunately passed away. It was actually a year ago yesterday that they celebrated his life. And yeah, I just want to say, this podcast goes out to Jon and the family, and I'm sure his brother's always looking down on him, and really, really proud of how he is as a person, but obviously as well his career as a footballer. So this episode goes out to Ed. I want to thank Jon for his time, and hope you enjoy the podcast. And as always, if you're in doubt, turn it down the corner.